Sprout made that transition from corporate executive to a startup founder a lot easier, I would say. And so I think that's one of the key things for me, and for aspiring startup founders that might not know how to really do things. And you can sort of get away with it maybe at the start where you're just like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. But I think as you're trying to grow your business, right, you want to make sure that you're doing things that are expected, right?
Did you know that financial stress can significantly impact your employees' productivity and morale? When employees are burdened by worries like unexpected expenses, monthly bills, urgent repairs, or medical emergencies, they come to work stressed, unhappy, and unmotivated, leading to poor performance, risk burnout, or even leaving the company. Enter finances, a range of financial wellness benefits designed to tackle these challenges head-on. Support your employees' financial well-being and see the difference with a team that's healthier, happier, and more focused. Introducing ReadyCash. Provide your employees with reliable cash support through secure and transparent salary advances. ReadyCash simplifies your employees' access to instant emergency funds, allowing your team to handle unexpected emergencies with ease. Help your people build financial security and reduce stress with a trusted financial partner. Next up, introducing ReadyWage, a salary on-demand solution that lets your employees access their earned wages whenever they need them. By giving your team control over the money they've already worked for, ReadyWage helps them manage daily expenses, handle unexpected costs, and plan ahead without financial strain. Give your team a simple, reliable solution that boosts financial flexibility, helping them manage their money better by giving them control over their earnings. For employers, ReadyCash and ReadyWage are more than just financial wellness benefits. They're showing genuine care for your team's overall well-being. By reducing financial stress, your employees come to work healthier, happier, and more productive, driving success and growth for your business. The best part? ReadyCash and ReadyWage come at absolutely no extra cost for Sprout HR and payroll subscribers. So, what are you waiting for? Empower your employees with financial wellness today. Visit the Sprout website or book a meeting to discover how Sprout's financial wellness solution can transform your workplace.
What makes a great employer? Empathy is important. Employees aren't numbers on the balance sheet. They're people with dreams and aspirations, families, personal interests. If we can connect with them at a personal level, it makes their work experience so much richer. You need to find ways to listen and get feedback and let them know their voices are heard and really matter.
A great employer is supportive. They look after their employees' growth and development and give them the tools and skills they need to succeed.
For me, it's integrity. Your people are your greatest assets, so you need to do right by them. You have a responsibility to compensate them well, pay them on time, provide good benefits, and ensure a healthy work environment.
Great employers should also be forward-thinking and innovative. Business operations should constantly improve, so you shouldn't be afraid of automation and AI. Of course, it's not about using tech for tech's sake. The goal is make the work experience better for everyone.
Most importantly, a great employer must value their people. They are the lifeblood of the business. So we need to look after their well-being, make them know and feel we have their backs, and recognize their contributions.
And that's
what makes a great employer.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sprout's HR webinar series, HR Experts webinar series. So today's discussion will be on financial flexibility in the workplace, supporting employee wellness through earned wage access. I'm Javier, and I'll be your host for today. Today's workforce demands more than just the usual perks and benefits to stay engaged and motivated. Companies that go beyond the basics and just offer innovative, people-centered solutions are the ones that we see have a real, lasting impact. In this session, we'll dive into how financial wellness programs can do just that, driving better employee performance, boosting retention, and ultimately supporting overall business growth. We'll also be spotlighting one game-changing approach, earned wage access. This flexible payroll solution empowers employees with greater control over their finances, enhancing not just engagement and satisfaction, but also overall well-being. If you enjoy webinars like this one, be sure to follow Sprout HR Tech on Facebook and LinkedIn and stay tuned for new episodes in 2025. But before we get started, I'm sure you're curious, so let me talk a little bit more about Sprout. Sprout Solutions is the Philippines' most trusted provider of HR and payroll solutions and the leading homegrown B2B software as a service company. We help companies of all sizes solve pain points across the employee life cycle. So we also help you in improving operational efficiency and achieve sustainable growth through our ecosystem of AI-powered cloud solutions. We have two insightful discussions lined up for you today. So after each speaker, we'll hold a Q&A session to address any questions or clarifications you may have. To submit your questions in Zoom, please click on the Q&A button below. Please do feel free as well to start listing your questions during the session, and we'll address as many of these as possible. All right, so let's kick off our first session, where we'll cover the transforming of total rewards, leveraging HR solutions for enhanced employee engagement. Allow me to introduce our speaker. She has 15 years of experience in IT software startups, fintech, and BPO industries for both local and global companies. She started her career in recruitment and later on took an HR generalist function, where she eventually attained a leadership role in heading the people operations team for 10 years. She's currently the head of people operations of Sprout Solutions, the leading end-to-end HR platform in the Philippines. Let's all welcome to the virtual stage, Abby Galvez.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Can everybody hear me clear? Okay. All right. So again, my name is Abby Galvez, and I am the head of people operations at Sprout Solutions. So today I'll be discussing how to transform total rewards by leveraging HR solutions for enhanced employee engagement. Now, so let's get on to it. Let's go to the next slide. All right. So first and foremost, what is employee engagement? So by not looking at the definition, what examples can you share what employee engagement is? Siguro we can use the chat box so you can type in your answers to make this very interactive now. So what do we mean when we say employee engagement? What are the examples of employee engagement? Anyone from the chat? Sige. So I'll wait for your answers later. But while we're doing that, while you're thinking about engagement activities, let me discuss first the definition of employee engagement in the books. No, so by technical definition, it is the level of enthusiasm and commitment an employee has in helping the organization achieve their goal. So I see the answers already here in the chat now. So employee engagement is level of trust employee put in their company, correct? Team building, correct? Employee recognition, correct also. Company sports fest, correct. So all of these answers are very good answers. So thank you so much for sharing these with us. R&R, yes, correct, definitely. So but looking again into the definition, so level of enthusiasm and commitment an employee has in helping the organization achieve their goal. So all of your answers are definitely correct, no, but it has to have a deeper meaning or a deeper purpose as to why we do sports fest, no, why do we do team building, why are there recognitions and rewards programs for the employees from the company. So this is because we want to be intentional and purposeful of the activities that we do to engage employees, and that is to help the organization achieve their goal. So it's not just basta may pa-Zumba kayo every Friday and then that's already engagement, no? You have to have a deeper understanding. Why do you do Zumba every Friday? Or bakit ba tayo nagpapa basketball every month, no? What's the purpose behind basketball tournaments, no? So in that essence, no, we are able to identify what the goal of the company really is, no. So maybe the reason behind let's say Zumba, or maybe it could be Muay Thai, or other, or yung uso ngayon pickleball, right? So the reasons why we do these things is because we want to promote physical wellness, or maybe the reason behind why the organization sponsor basketball tournaments is because we want to enhance collaboration, camaraderie between in the organization. No, so we need to be able to look into the deeper meaning or the intention of the company, why we do these activities in the first place. No, and that is to achieve the company goal. All right, so let's go to the next slide. So why is it important to for an organization to have a good employee engagement rating? No, why is employee engagement important in an organization? Number one, it enhances employee productivity. So definitely, if an employee is engaged, there's more contribution that this employee is able to do. The more that the employee is engaged, the more that the employee is able to do more than the required task, or more than what is written in their job description even, no? So let's say this particular employee is let's say a recruiter, no? So if an employee is engaged, that employee will not just recruit for the company, but also at the same time will also if let's say that recruiter encounters a potential client, no, that engaged employee will also refer not just candidates but also potential clients to the company. So that's what we mean about more productivity for the organization, no? So productive employees are the effects of an engaged employee. So definitely kapag ang employee is just doing the bare minimum, no, do you think that employee is engaged? So if that employee is just doing what is required from them, it doesn't mean that that's exactly bad, no. Pero there's something that we can do about that employee to become more productive. So we need to look into the engagement of that employee. If that employee is really engaged, no, engaged enough, or engaged in such a way that that employee can contribute more to the company. And then number two is higher retention rate. So if the employee is engaged, there's more. It's less likely that the employee will look for other opportunities outside of their current company. So the attrition rate is lesser when the employees in the company is engaged. No. So, of course, if the employee is happy and satisfied with their current employer, they would definitely stay with the company. And then second is increase in company profitability. So I did mention earlier about contribution, no? Having more productivity for the company. So having the employee to give more than the employee is. If the employee is engaged, the tendency is that the employee will do more than what is expected. So there's definitely an effect in the profitability also of the company. So example, if the employee is a sales representative, so if that employee is productive, we know for a fact that that employee is definitely engaged, no? And there's the effect of that is that the company is more profitable, no? Same thing with the non-revenue generating employees, no? If the employees are engaged, there are more avenues for them to support the organization, thus increasing profitability of also of the company. Why? Because there is less, let's say for instance, for non-revenue generating, let's say for the operations, no, or let's say HR, finance, IT, or legal. Those departments are non-revenue generating, but how do they support or how do they contribute to the profitability of the company if they are engaged? Is that there is compliance, let's say, for example, in terms of filing of taxes, compliance in the legal matters, DOLE, etc., etc. So in that way, there's lesser chances for penalties or lesser costs that are involved. So it helps also with the profitability of the organization. So this is because if the employee is engaged, we would look the employee would look into these things in a more meticulous manner, or they would have more passion towards achieving not just their goal but also the company's goal in terms of compliance, in terms of support, in terms of overall operations. Yun. And then lastly, it strengthens workplace culture. So if the employees are engaged, especially the examples that you mentioned earlier, like sports fest, employee recognition, team building, these definitely adds to the workplace culture to solidify even further. So the more that the employees are engaged, the more that they practice the shared culture or the shared practices that the company or the organization have. So let's say, for instance, the culture of, for instance, in our organization, we do have a culture wherein we share our 1% for the day. So that's what we call what's your 1% for the day is something that you learned that is new, whether work related or not work related. So we often share that amongst each other. That, let's say, for instance, my 1% today is that I found out that traveling to work is only takes me 1.5 hours if I take this route versus the other route, which takes me even longer hours, because of traffic. So that's my 1%, and I share it with my teammates because maybe it will be beneficial for them in the future, or it's just that it's good to share something that you learned. Maybe you learned something that you heard in the news today. Oh, I found out that this particular uh, um, training for, let's say, for HR is very beneficial for the team, and you share it with the rest of your colleagues. So that's a culture that we share in our company, and that's also an example of a very engaged employee. If you are able to share best practices with one another, or share the common things that you do in your organization on a regular basis. All right, so having said all of these things, let's move on to the next slide, which is the driver of employee engagement. So we're talking about the importance earlier of employee engagement, but now who do we turn to, or who do you think should be the driver of employee engagement? Again, can I get the participation of our online audience, and let me know who drives employee engagement. I'll wait for the answers. HR leaders and leadership, HR and SLT leadership. All right, thank you so much for your answer. So Okay, let's see, who really drives the employee engagement. Can you let's go to the next yeah. So employee engagement is a shared responsibility. So yeah, definitely your answers are correct. No, it's not just HR who drives employee engagement. They are also, can you go to the next? So it's also the executives, correct? Next, there are also the managers. Ayan. So I see that some answers are management team, leadership team. So you're all correct on that one. Okay, what's the next one? It is, of course, human resource team. And finally, it is the employees. So that's the most important driver also of engagement. So definitely, the ones, so if we look back into the definition of employee engagement earlier, it is it's the intention or the initiatives or activities that drive employees, or the level of enthusiasm that would drive employees to contribute further towards achieving company goals, diba? So now looking into that definition, how do we now achieve company goals if not for the executives or the managers or the leaders of their organization who would let us know what the goals are for, let's say, for the year, for the quarter, for the month, no? So if we are not aware, or if we don't understand what our goals are for the company, then our engagement activities will all be just for not naman nothing, pero we don't have an understanding as to why we do the things that we do. So kunyari example is sports fest. Ba't ba tayo nagsa-sports fest? Katawaan lang ba yung sports fest? Or is it because dahil may magaling kaming mag-basketball sa team, so kaya tayo nagpapa-sports fest? So, those are the things that we need to have a better understanding of, no, na may reason behind those activities. And it's not just so that we can showcase our talent, or it's not just so that we can beat our co-department or other departments in other areas. Kunyari, kayo na lang laging magaling sa in terms of singing contest, kami naman sa sports, ganyan. So it's really not about that alone, no? It's definitely not just for fun. It is rooted towards a specific goal that the company would like to achieve. So without the directives, or without the critical success factors that the leadership team is able to determine or to identify, our engagement activities will not be aligned. No, so we need to understand the directives or initiatives or the critical success factors that the leadership team would identify, so that the human resources team will be able to identify the activity suited for us to be able to reach that goal. So if you also notice that whenever we do team buildings, the activities are not just usually for fun. It's usually tied within our core values. No, let's say, for instance, the game in our team building is kunyari, the game is to be able to get, let's say, a sphere or a ball across the room by using just a tube. Have you experienced that in your team building? If not, you can search it in YouTube. No, what are the common team building activities? So though that example of a team building activity is not just so that you can get the ball across the room by using just a tube. No, the reason behind that is teamwork, agility, diba? Innovation. What are the strategies that you did during that activity to get that ball across the room by using just a tissue paper roll tube na cut in half or something like that, no? So we are really looking into or aligning those activities towards reaching company goals. So it's not just for fun. It is definitely fun, but it's really rooted towards a specific goal. Yan. And then lastly, of course, employees. Employees are the most important driver of employee engagement, because without the employees having to do all of these engagement activities, then it will all be for nothing. No? So it's really important for the employees to also participate in employee engagement, and also to identify whether an engagement activity is also beneficial for them or not. So it's important to give out feedback whenever we do engagement activities. Usually the HR team, they give out surveys. How effective is this activity? Mga ganyan, diba? So it's important for us to also know these things through the feedback that you give to the organizers of the engagement activity. Ayan. So now that we know the drivers of employee engagement, let's move on to the next slide. What is total rewards naman? So we already identified employee engagement. Now we're going to identify what total rewards is. No? So total rewards is a combination of benefits, compensation, and rewards that employee receive from their organization. So usually when we say total rewards, ang nasa top of mind lang natin is incentives, commission, awards and recognition, because of the word reward. No? So the total reward is really a combination of all of these three things: compensation, benefits, and also rewards. So let's move on to the next slide. Ayan. So how can now we transform total rewards, now that we've identified total rewards, in enhancing employee engagement? Ayan. So let's go and identify these. Let's move to the next slide. Yeah, so HR solutions to enhance employee engagement by transforming total rewards. No? So number one is you need to look into offering competitive salary from reliable benchmarking data. So benchmarking is usually done not just to newly hired employees, kasi diba usually when we hire employees, we look into salary benchmarking, no? We look into platforms like Glassdoor or Payscale, or even paid companies that that can supply you with data, no. And it's definitely you would want to become as accurate as you can, or you want to have as accurate data as you can, to be able to identify what really is in the market, no, for in terms of the competitiveness of that salary. But usually what we often miss out is the current employees that we have. That's why it's also important to do annual reviews of the salaries. No, we don't just review the performance; we also review if the salary is still competitive. So the danger behind just looking into new hires for data benchmarking, no, is that sometimes napag-iiwanan yung mga current employees, no, na we often give competitive salary to new hires that are coming in, tapos yung mga current pala is napag-iwanan na. So now it's important to look into the total or the overall compensation of the organization on a regular basis. That's why it's important to review, no, the salaries on a regular basis, and also to use reliable benchmarking data that can help you identify the competitive salary market, no, for that particular position. And then next is allow opportunities for learning and development. So definitely kapag meron mga opportunities for an employee to learn more, to upskill, to level up, there's more opportunities, or there's also more evident employee engagement in that employee as well. Because of course, once usually if the employee learned new things, have additional knowledge about a specific tool, a specific technology, or a specific skill, they would want to use that skill, or they would want to use their new knowledge to something that can be beneficial to their role. No, so the more that they know, the more that they are engaged. No, so especially if, let's say, an employee has been in that same role for more than 5 years, for example, no, and then there's no it's always, the performance is always constant, no, parang ano lang, very satisfactory lang all the time. So that's why there's no room for promotions or leveling up. maybe it's time to look into opportunities for that employee to learn or develop their skill even further, so that we can be able to identify the career path that can be developed for them, no? So that's one thing to look into, so that employees are more engaged, no? And then next is provide a purpose-driven corporate social responsibility program. So we're talking about what we're talking about here is the opportunity of the employees to give back. No, so if the organization will be able to supply or arrange an avenue for employees to work on something bigger than themselves, no, they are definitely doing it not just for them, they're doing it for their community, they're doing it for social responsibility, and it gives them more reason to work even more, no, parang we're not just, because we're not just doing we're not just doing our jobs for ourselves, we're giving it back to the community, so there's more engagement in a sense that I want to be able to do more, not just for me, but also to the community. So it's important for organizations to look into avenues for employees to be able to give back to their community also. All right, and then next is support flexible working arrangement. So this is something that has been tested with everybody, I guess, and globally it has been tested, no, because of the pandemic. We were challenged with the limitations of working working on site or doing things face to face, no. So back in 2020, when we found out that kaya pala natin to do remote work, or let's say kaya pala na itong specific na tool na to kaya pala niya mag-continue for us to work even without having to leave the comfort of our homes, no. So now we're in the post-pandemic. We are now looking into more flexible working arrangements, especially for employees who know that it's definitely possible pala to have these kinds of working arrangements, no. But of course, you need to also be able to identify if that specific working arrangement will be beneficial for both the employee and also the employer, because there are also some companies who may not be able to work well or best when they're doing it remotely. Example, if your business or your company has multiple stores or branches nationwide, so how can you do things remotely if that's the case? No, kunyari you have an ice cream shop, and then that ice cream shop has a lot of stores around the Philippines. How will you be able to sell if your store is a physical store, and how will you be able to do it online, diba? So those are the things that you need to be able to look into, and you have to have an understanding or agreement with the employee that this is the nature of the work and this is required from you from this particular work. So it needs to be understood by the employee that you need to be on site for this particular role. But at the same time, on the other side naman, if let's say, for instance, if it's something that organizations can look into arranging naman that can be done hybrid, no? Ngayon uso yung hybrid because there's definitely benefits in face-to-face collaboration, and then there's also some benefits around working from home as well, no? So dapat yung mga working arrangements natin are not just set up because uso siya or because we want to ride the bandwagon, no? We want to be able to arrange these working arrangements or special working arrangements because it will benefit both the employees and employer. So I know of a company wherein they only work 4 times a week and then they have Fridays off. So that's one example also of flexible working arrangement that companies can look into, no? Na hindi naman siya pala kumbaga pwede naman pala na hindi siya 5 days a week. Pwede palang 4 times lang sila mag-work, and then every Friday it's a weekend already for them. So may mga ganong mga scenarios wherein it's possible kasi, and then at the same time it's also it also works for them. It's works for them in the best way that it's both beneficial for the employees and for the company. So yun. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Ayan. So, last three things for HR solutions to enhance employee engagement. So, another one is to give credible rewards and recognition to high performers. So, pagka ang employee is, doing really well, no, and constantly doing well, it's important for organizations to recognize that good performance, no. Otherwise, people or employees would be demotivated. No, they wouldn't feel that they are supported, or they wouldn't feel that they are doing well or enough if we don't recognize these efforts. So definitely, it's also it also helps the employee to reach something, or to look forward to something that they can attain. Let's say for this year, hindi ko na-reach yung, let's say, sa sales ako and hindi ko na-reach yung target ko for this year. But definitely next year, I can do better. So it gives them that opportunity to be more engaged and to look forward to something that they can attain. No? Same thing naman when they already attain a specific goal or a specific target. You want to be able to maintain that, no, through constantly rewarding also the employee. So we talked about earlier total rewards, no? So if the employee is constantly performing, then it's also best that you also always recognize that good performance through, maybe it could be an incentive, it could be commission, it could be bonus, or it could be additional benefits, no? So let's say added vacation leave, or let's say higher HMO coverage, anything that would make the employee feel that they are valued and that we recognize their hard work. So let's say for instance the employee is let's say non-revenue generating. We also need to be able to recognize their hard work through, let's say, the reports that they are able to show, the data that they're able to show to the organization that help in, let's say, streamlining process, or let's say reducing cost. Let's say if you're in finance, no, or you're able to collect billings in such a way that it helps with also the overall revenue of the company. So mga things like that, things that needs recognition, not just about sales, or not just about profitability, but also the efficiency of the whole organization that employees contributed towards, needs to be recognized also, no. So yun. And then next is implement tools that address issues on efficiency and productivity. So one of the things that also causes stress with employees is that when we do things manually, there's nothing wrong with doing things manually, no? But of course, if it's something that we can address, or we can help the employees towards being more efficient, being more productive, then it boosts their employee engagement, or it boosts their morale, no? Na madali na lang pala mag-generate ngayon ng report because it's now automated, or let's say I don't need to manually input these things because meron na palang generator to do it, no? Or I can use AI to help me generate the top. Let's say, for example, you're in recruitment, the top candidates can be generated by AI for me. So yung mga things like that can help employees achieve more, or become more efficient, become more productive by investing in tools, to help them to do better, to do more, would definitely help with the employee engagement, no. So we need to be able to look into the tools that we invest in, not just because it is it is the talk of the town right now. Let's say, for example, AI, everybody's talking about AI, but you need to be able to identify also where you're going to use AI to. What are the tools that AI will help in making things more efficient and making it more effective, no? So there. And then lastly, we need to be able also to focus on employee well-being. So when we say employee well-being, we're not just talking about physical well-being, no, but it's usually top of mind when we say well-being. It is gym membership, no, for some, or let's say we're talking about class passes, so you can take yoga classes or Pilates classes, yung mga ganyan. So yes, you're checking that box in terms of physical well-being, but how about mental and financial? Those are also the top two reasons why employees are also disengaged, no? Especially again during the pandemic, we were able to look into the reasons as to why employees are not really engaged. And it's because they are mentally distressed or financially distressed as well. So we need to be able to look into those reasons, no? And when we do find out the reasons for their stress or their reasons for this demotivation or why they are disengaged, then we need to be able to support, no, not just their physical but also mental and financial. So in such a way, employees are no longer thinking about their issues or their challenges outside of work, because sometimes when calamities arrive and then there's let's say for instance, just recently, have you heard about Mount Canlaon in Negros, diba? And also a lot of instances also in Taal, di ba, na parang for this year, I think the Taal erupted like more than 3 times just for this year. So those are calamities that are very unavoidable, and also it really causes the employees a lot of financial and mental stress, no? How will they be able to um, um, recover from these calamities, and also for the yung mga typhoons that also recently occurred that really caused them a lot of stress and difficulties in coping with life, no, in general. What more pa kaya sa work, no? So how will you be able to engage them to work if they are already thinking about these stresses in life? So if the company is able to support that physical, mental, and financial well-being, then it alleviates or it lessens the stress of the employees. So I think that's I believe I was able to discuss all of the HR solutions not to enhance employee engagement, and I think we've already reached the last part of our slide. Um, ayan. So, ayan. So, thank you again, everybody, for listening in this morning. Thank you for all of the participants right now in our webinar. I hope you learned a lot from my discussion, and I wish everyone a good morning today.
Okay, thank you so much, Abby, for that wonderful presentation on how and why it's important to really drive employee engagement in the future of your organizations, our organizations. Okay, so I'm sure some of you might still be curious about Abby's presentation, so don't worry. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A function here on Zoom. So we'll be answering those in just a moment. Okay. So did you know nearly 80% of Filipinos face challenges in managing their expenses? To address this, the State of Financial Wellness 2024 ebook provides valuable insights into the financial challenges and opportunities affecting the Filipino workforce. This free resource offers a comprehensive review of the country's current economic and monetary health. If you want to better understand the state of financial wellness here in the Philippines and discover strategies to overcome financial stressors, simply scan the QR code on screen to download your free copy. So this is, of course, is brought to you by Sprout. So don't miss this opportunity to take control of your financial well-being and scan the QR code now. Okay, so let's continue. All right, so hope you had a chance to download the State of Financial Wellness 2024 ebook. Now that we've seen how financial wellness drives employee satisfaction and engagement, but Understanding the why is only the beginning. Having the right tools is the key. Up next, get ready for an exclusive demo of a powerful tool designed to support financial wellness in your organization. This is your chance to see firsthand how Sprouts Ready Weight can manage your employees' finances more effectively, helping them to plan and budget their income with greater control and flexibility. Let's welcome our next speaker. She has 14 years of experience in product management with 8 years dedicated to e-commerce and fintech. Her experience includes leading the development of impactful, customer-focused solutions that address the unique needs of the Philippine market. Currently, she serves as the Director of FinTech at Sprout Solutions, focusing on scaling FinTech services that enhance employee financial wellness. Let's all welcome Cookie Enriquez.
Hello, hi, good morning. So thank you, Javi, and thank you, Abby, for that very, very insightful discussion. So, like what Javi mentioned, so today I'm going to be doing a quick demo in one of our products, Ready Wage, which is an earned wage access. So, again, as Abby mentioned, it's not enough just to focus on physical and mental wellness. We also need to look into financial wellness since this greatly affects employee productivity and engagement. So today I'll be discussing Ready Wage, which is a financial wellness benefit that allows employee to access their earned salary anytime before payday. So simply put, it's salary on demand, it's payday every day. Kung gusto kong i-withdraw yung sweldo ko, kaya ko na siyang i-withdraw anytime. So yung concept ng pecha de peligro, I'm sure lahat tayo na experience yan, it won't be happening to us anymore. So I'll go into the product. So let me know if the screen is moving properly. So Ready Wage, when I click on Ready Wage, this is from my Sprout mobile application. So Ready Wage is available for any employers to their employees with HR and Sprout payroll. So as you can see in the Ready Wage dashboard, you'll have two items here. So it's the Ready Wage balance and your transaction history. So the Ready Wage balance that's indicated here is the amount that the employee can withdraw now. So immediately. So let's see how this Ready Wage balance is computed. So if you click view details, it shows the computation. So example, Juan de la Cruz, the daily rate is 1,800 pesos. The days work, 800. So for this payroll period, nagtrabaho na ako ng 8 days. So the subtotal of that is I've earned 14,000 pesos. So an access rate is multiplied to that. So access rate can be anywhere from 30 to 50%. So we do this so come payroll, the employees still have salary that will be processed. So in this scenario, it's 50% access rate. So I can access 50% of my earned salary, then minus any previous ready wage transaction. So example, nag-withdraw na ako yesterday ng 1,000 pesos. So it's the subtotal minus 1,000 pesos. So that's a total of 6,000 pesos that I can withdraw now. So if you scroll downwards, you can see the definitions of each item. So it better explains what it is. An example, days work. So if you want to verify, like, parang bakit 8 days lang, hindi ba 9 days na ako pumasok? So you can just click show breakdown and it will show how many days you went to work and how many days are zero or kung may mga rest days ba yan. So you can correctly compute for your numbers of days work. So once you know the amount, so may 6,000 pesos na tayo. So we can click get wage. So it shows the account details here. The account details indicated here are the payroll account, bank account details. So for security purposes, we only allow employees to withdraw to that specific bank account. So if you can see, hindi siya maiiba. So next, it shows your ready wage balance again. So I have 6,000 pesos. I don't have to withdraw the entire amount. Example, I just want to withdraw 2,000 pesos. I need this funds for additional groceries. I'll have guests later for my Christmas party. Kailangan ko mag-grocery. So I'll click on next. So you'll be led to the confirmation page. So the confirmation page again will have your transaction, your account number, and the amount, the convenience fee, and the total amount that will be deducted to your payroll, and the note of the grocery. So the convenience fee is very it's a it's very minimal. So it's similar to when you're transferring, when you're doing a bank transfer. So it's not percentage based, it's a flat fee. So as we can see, mababawas sa payroll ko will be 2,049 pesos. So when I click cash out, it will say that my request is being processed. It will show the summary again of the transaction. Then I can return to the dashboard. So when I return to the dashboard, you can see the transaction history. I previously made a 1,000 peso withdrawal, and you can see that the 2,000 withdrawal that we just did is already reflected in the transaction. So you can also click that to see the transaction details. So on top of that, you'll see the day that it was credited, the day that you requested it, and which specific payslip date it will be affected. That specific amount will be deducted. Are there any questions? Okay, so I'll move forward first. So again, this is free. This is free for the employers of Sprout and HR Payroll. There's no additional payment that you need to enable this product. And it has a very minimal fee to the employees. So let's see. So you might ask, baka mahirap naman to. Paano namin ipaprocess lahat to, di ba? As admins of the company. So I would happily say that this does not add any admin work. So it's so it's end to end, automated. It will automatically be deducted. The withdrawals will automatically be deducted to the employee's payroll. And for monitoring purposes, I will also show the admin dashboard. So the admin dashboard is the view that the admins, whether HR or finance, can see. So from your Sprout account, you will be able to see, you will be led to the Ready Wage admin dashboard. And here you can see the total outstanding balance, the breakdown, whether transactions are in progress or success. So it shows the complete list of withdrawals made by your employees. So let's check this. So when you click on a transaction, you can see the same details as the employee can see. So if the employee has issues regarding transaction, hindi daw updated your request status, is there a double transaction, you can easily confirm, go to your admin dashboard and confirm the correct status of the employee. If you also want to monitor the usage, you can have filters here. So you can just example, I want to see all the transaction just in December. So I can set the date for December, and I can also filter it based on the request status. So I only want to see items that have been successfully transact withdrawn. Then I want to see just for active employees. So once confirmed, it will show and update the list that you can see. So again, it has no cost to the employers. It's has minimal fee for the employees, and there is no additional admin work that is needed on the side of the admin. So again, Ready Wage, like what Abby said, empowers employees to take control of their finances by accessing their earned and well-deserved salary, reducing stress, and enhancing their productivity. So together, let's redefine what financial wellness is for a better workplace. Uh, that ends my demo. I will.
All right. Thank you so much, Cookie, for that insightful discussion on on our newest financial wellness solution, ReadyWage. So if you guys are interested in having a quick demo or a presentation of the product, you may get in contact with your CSM or your success consultants here at Sprout. Okay. So as we're almost nearing the end of the session, we're always looking for ways to improve our webinars, and your feedback invaluable to us. So we invite everyone to kindly fill out the survey form that will appear on your screen. It will only take 2 minutes to answer, so I assure you that the form is short and easy to complete. And your feedback will again be able to help make our future webinars even better. We will give you some time to answer. And again, this will also help in providing you with an e-certificate for today's webinar. Thank you. So again, you guys may place your questions here on the chat, and we'll do our best to answer these during the session. So really hope you guys have been enjoying so far and learning a lot more about our uh, you know, advocacies in improving employee engagement and in relation to that financial wellness. So we hope that you guys can all include this in your plans for 2025, and rest assured, Sprout will be here to be your partner and give you guys the avenue to improve your employee engagement as well as the financial wellness of your employee. So, ReadyWage actually isn't just our only employee engagement solution. We have a wide range as Pulse, which is our uh, engagement survey solution. We also have employee rewards and benefits, just to name a few. So again, if you guys are interested in hearing more about how you can improve your employee engagement and financial wellness within your organizations, please do reach out to your CSMs as well as your success consultant. We hope you guys are filling out the feedback forms to help us improve how we conduct our future webinars for you guys. Okay, so as the poll continues, we'll then move on to our Q&A session. So we'd like to call back on stage Abby Galve and Cookie Enriquez for the question and answer portion. So our first question came from the registration. So let's start for Abby. So for Abby, how can employers effectively integrate financial wellness programs into their existing wellness initiatives?
All right, that's a very good question. So, when we already have wellness programs in place for our organization, it's now easy to also integrate the financial wellness together with it, because they work hand in hand. Financial wellness is also also has an effect towards overall wellness of employees, like what I mentioned earlier in my discussion. So the if let's say your wellness initiatives would be around the physical or mental wellness, you can also interject some financial wellness towards it. Usually for, let's say, when we do seminars for overall wellness, you can also interject financial wellness with the seminars that you would like to host. Or let's say if you have outside speakers that you would like to invite for your organization that would include wellness, you can also interject financial wellness also with that. So you can have it alternate. You can do alternate wellness seminars. So kunyari, this month will be targeting towards the health and wellness of, the things that you should. Kumbaga parang if the webinar would be focused on what to eat when you're always on the go, parang ganyan. So what are the good go-to food if you're always on the go, especially if you're working. And then the next month naman will be how to save when it comes to what are the initiatives or the alternatives um, uh, that is not fast food naman, parang ganon. So it can be interjected or it can be integrated, financial wellness and also wellness overall.
All right, thank you so much, Abby. So the next question is for Cookie. So for Ready Wage, is this debited directly to the company's bank account, and is it credited in real?
Okay, so for the employee side, the moment that they request for it, so the funds are immediately transferred in 1 to 2 minutes. So the demo I just said, nasa bank account na nila yun. For the company, so there are two ways to go about it, which we can discuss with your CSMs, which are you can pre-fund it or you can set up or self-fund it. So yes, we can set up an account where the funds, where the employees' funds will be coming from.
Okay, thank you so much, Cookie. So this goes for both panelists. How do financial wellness programs impact employee retention and engagement in the work?
All right. So for retention and employee engagement, um, with what we've discussed earlier around alleviating the tension and the stress of the employees when they are financially distressed, no, it's something that organizations can really support and really um, contribute towards retention. Because of course, if let's say an employee is financially troubled, no, due to unforeseen circumstances like what we mentioned earlier, mga calamities, or even let's say yung mga unexpected na expenses, tendency is that they look for greener pastures or they look for opportunities outside even the country, no? Kasi definitely mas merong more opportunities than to earn. So it will affect your retention rate, no, in your company. But of course, kapag yung company supports or has initiative or programs to support financial well-being of the employee, then the retention will definitely be higher, or it will contribute towards the retention and the engagement of the employee, because they no longer have to look for greener pastures. They don't have to look for outside, let's say outside or third party or companies that will help them, let's say for instance for loans, no. It's so difficult to file for loans in the Philippines, no. When you do file for loan, there's so many requirements, so it also adds to the stress. It also adds to the disengaged employee, no, na parang instead of the employee works or becomes productive, the employee tends to look for requirements for the loan, no, or parang it stresses them out when the loan pa gets declined, so they have to find another avenue to find for loans. So when a company has that readily available for them, it alleviates that stress and also the hassle of having to go through all of those requirements, para they can focus more on the work rather than having to focus on how to get a loan. Yon.
I think Abby was able to cover everything. So just to add, like, to highlight that it significantly affects productivity. So imagine, example, nabagyo kayo, or your a family member is in the hospital, and like what Abby said, you need approval, which takes 3 days, etc. So it's very different when you already have access immediately due to funds that you've already earned.
Yeah, and sorry, one last thing to add.
Mhm.
Kasi I think it's also hassle then for the part of the HR or the
HR,
payroll
yes.
person, Cookie, because it sometimes parang it sometimes creates some intimidation, or parang 'di ba when you're trying to ask for company loan, parang you have to go to the HR pa or the finance team to request for the loan, tapos yun pa andun pa yung hesitation to do it because merong interaction, 'di ba? Or merong may conversation that has to happen na medyo awkward, 'di ba? Parang sometimes it needs to be identified pa para saan yung loan, yung mga ganyan. Tapos syempre there's that yung uncomfortable na conversation that has to happen. But I think what Cookie demonstrated earlier is that there's no interaction needed for you to get that instant or ready cash or ready wage. So, yun.
And yeah, related to ready wage, so this is for Cookie. Is there any specific bank partner for ready wage? And what would happen if an employee resigns immediately and his salary cannot cover the other?
Okay. So as long as the employee's bank account is within the InstaPay network, so they can use the product. So any bank account basically. Sorry, what was the second question? The resignation. So since it is since like what I mentioned, how it's computed, it's earned salary. So we are not advancing the amount. It's not a loan. So when the employee resigned, the final pay is processed. So when the final pay is processed, the amount, the deductions will be processed there at that time as well. So even if immediately mag-resign siya, as long as, so example, on the fourth day, nag-awol na siya. On the third day, he worked from day 1 to day 3. So they still earn that salary that they were able to withdraw.
All right. Thank you so much. And this one is for Abby. So, Christina, carry on. Could you kindly share the best practices to improve employee engagement where 70% of the employees are working?
Sorry, can we have more clarification on the last part? 70% of the employees
Are work from home or working
work from
remotely?
home.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So, during the pandemic, we were really tested how we're going to engage our employees when we cannot see them face to face, no? So it's definitely possible, even though we're working from home, to engage the employees pa din. So we can make use of a lot of tools to not just Zoom, not just Google Meet or Teams, no? But even then, those tools can be utilized or can be maximized even further. Like if you're also using Slack, you can also maximize the tools for Slack. And then you can also invest in online games that you can use for engagement activities like Kahoot. I also was able to encounter some engagement tools that focuses on collaboration, like Campfire. You can also check that out. Of course, these are paid tools, no, or subscriptions that you can utilize, but it's definitely effective. There's also a lot of yung mga quiz games that you can also use for collaboration also, and maybe even icebreakers, no, during mga events and whatnot. And then there's also a lot of creative things that you can do online, like sharing, let's say, workspaces, no? Kunyari, 'di ba? Kasi we don't have a workspace that you can share in a physical office, 'di ba? So what we did before during pandemic is that when we give out company merch or mga giveaways, it is for their workspace or for their workstation. So let's say, for instance, you can gamify it as well. So, for example, if you're a top performer, you can get a chance to get a really nice gaming chair, parang ganon. So, there's a lot of creative things that you can do remotely. Kasi right now, there's also a lot of mga delivery partners that you can utilize para whenever you want to give gifts or recognition, they can receive it in the comfort of their own homes. We can also do that globally pala, by the way, because we also tested out in my previous company wherein we were doing things globally. And aside from kaya siya, it's actually very sustainable, and it's very effective also.
Okay, thank you so much, Abby. Okay, so back to Cookie again. If ready wage or the payouts are in a separate account, how does the deduction work, affecting the company held in which payroll is credited?
So like what I mentioned, there are two ways to set it up. So first is if you're self-funding it. So we have a partner bank, and you set up a specific fund in the partner bank. So since we have an access rate example of 50 or 30%, there's a computation that requires you to maintain that specific float. So that specific float you just replenish every time, every payroll period, just to make sure that employees can continually withdraw. The second way is a pre-funded. So this is pre-funded by Sprout. So employees will withdraw from a consolidated fund, and the per payroll period, uh, as you can see from the admin dashboard, you see the total balance. So the total balance is to be paid to Sprout. So it's just the employer will be paying Sprout that specific amount. So that's every single payroll period. So that's just one transaction on the side of the employer.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and just a couple more questions on ready wage still. So, what is the convenience fee for? And could you repeat the process on
Sure.
if there's a resigned employee and on the auto debit arrangement for them? I think it is just
Um,
more in terms of the payroll.
Yes. So what happened? So for the convenience fee is to cover for the cost of bank transfer. So we're doing interbank transfers, since we can transfer it to any bank, so that covers the cost. Second, for the resigned employees, like what I mentioned, it's not an advance. So it's a specific portion of their salary that they already earned. So meaning, hindi sila pwedeng withdraw ng hindi pa nila pinagtrabahuhan. So even if they resigned, they have already earned that. So they already have payrolls for that specific amount. And second, that's the reason why we put an access rate. So just instead on their final payroll, if they have other deductions that are there, it takes into account um, that possibility. So very, very, very edge case if magne-negative yung payroll niya when we run the final pay.
Okay, thank you so much. Perfect. Okay, and next we have another question for Abby. So, are there metrics that can identify that the company's employee engagement is successful?
Oh, the metrics. So for employee engagement metrics, that would be the pulse surveys that we sent out on a quarterly or annually. So usually employee satisfaction surveys. Those are the ones that are essential in measuring employee engagement. Usually we also look into the actual event itself, how effective the event. So it's important to send out surveys right after an event if you want to see its effectivity. Let's say, for instance, company team building. So right after the team building, the HR or the organizers should be able to send out survey on how effective the team building was for them. No, and it's important also to look into the questions for us to be able to really find or to if what we're looking for is let's say measuring the success of the event, so you need to put in the survey questions how effective or how successful the event was. Is there any improvement needed, or was the venue suitable? Were the facilitators effective? Yung mga ganyan. So you really need to be very detailed about the questions so that you can also get the answers that you are looking for. So from there, you'll be able to determine also the percentage of the effectivity and success of the events through those surveys. And then other metrics naman to help monitor employee engagement aside from the surveys is the capability of the let's say the HR team or anyone who is involved in engagement. Uh, in terms of delivering the engagement activities. So let's say, for instance, from the start of the year, you're already able to plot the activities for every month. At the end of the year, you'll be able to also determine yung mga events that took place and did not take place. No, so from there, you will be able to measure the metrics of employee engagement also. Internally naman yon, yung effectivity. And then of course for your yung clients natin, which is the employees of course and the organization, is through the employee satisfaction survey.
Okay. Okay. And another question is, what do you recommend for the survey? Real time, a day, or days after?
Well, if you really want to get feedback right away, I would say if the survey is also available already, especially for I would say for mga trainings, seminars, it's important to already give the survey right away kasi fresh pa yung knowledge, fresh pa yung experience. But it's okay din naman if it's a day after para they can also digest the information that was given to them, especially if it's like, let's say, one whole day seminar or workshop. Tapos pag ipag-survey mo pa kasi sila at the end of the day, it might be too mentally exhausting for them. So give it a day or two for mga 1 day, 2 day workshop. Pero yung let's say mga 1 hour workshop or seminar, it's okay to give them real time or right after the event itself.
Okay, thank you so much, Abby. Okay, so that does it for our questions. So we'd just like to request both our panelists for some closing remarks or final words for our attendees for today.
Sige, I can go first. So for my closing remarks, no, or statements, it's really important for organizations to look into the overall engagement of the company, because it's very important that employees are engaged. And by definition, when we discussed about employee engagement, it is their level of enthusiasm to contribute to the company in achieving their goals. So with that, we need to be able to strategize the engagement activities towards achieving company goals so that it is more intentional, and it's also more effective.
Okay, so just to add to what Abby said, as employers, we should continuously seek products or processes that could contribute to overall well-being, and again, to focus on financial wellness since this is very new. Most companies don't have this yet. So again, this affects your productivity, engagement, and retention greatly. So again, there are many products, many avenues to help improve this. So let's work together again to make a better workplace.
Okay. So thank you so much again, Abby and Cookie. So for today, we really appreciate that you guys shared your valuable insights, and I'm sure our attendees learned a lot from your expertise. And that's a wrap. Thank you all so much for joining this episode, HR Experts. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring. Again, I'm your host, Javier, wishing you a joyful holiday season, and we look forward to seeing you at our future. Happy holidays!